There you go. Let's move on. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer has promised to build a new Britain in his party conference speech in Liverpool yesterday.
Well, one of those places that may benefit from his plans is England's so-called second city, Birmingham. Well, joining us now is Labour MP for Birmingham, Selly Oak, Steve McCabe. Steve, Sir Keir seems to have impressed the room with his speech yesterday.
Yes, well, I think it was an excellent speech. He was obviously talking to the country. He was setting out Labour's stall, and he was showing the kind of passion and commitment that everyone wanted to see.
In terms of you as an MP, Selly Oak, you know, a backbencher who does his work for his constituency. For me, Steve, the issue this week has been whether Sir Keir Starmer can get over that barrier that we all know has been there for many years, which is, and just hear me out, you know, the Labour Party will just promise this and there'll be no money. It'll all be a nightmare. Everybody will get taxed. And yet, to me, it seems that this is the greatest opportunity the Labour Party ever has to sell itself to the British public. We have the highest taxation we've had in 70 years. We have trillions and trillions of pounds worth of debt. We've got crumbling schools, no NHS that works. We've got borders that are completely uncontrolled. And so it really is a seminal moment. But you would understand there will still be cynicism, certainly in that red wall area about, you know, their economic handling. When you look at Rachel Reeves talking about using phrases, Steve, that are so Conservative-esque, you know, like this is costed, this is pragmatic. To me, when I listened to her, and to me when I saw him yesterday, it's almost like they've taken the language of the Tory Party. You might not like that in terms of appealing to a broader audience. Do you understand what I mean?
Well, I think your critique suggests that you should be voting Labour, but...
I doubt that. We'll see.
But, look, I think Rachel Reeves is just simply setting out a cautious and sensible economic case. We saw what happened under the Boris Johnson premiership when he promised things left, right and centre and then couldn't deliver on them. And we've seen how levelling up has fallen apart. So I think it's perfectly sensible that we try to set out a cautious economic case. No one knows what the economy will look like by the time the election comes round. But what we're doing is very clearly speaking about the issues that people are troubled with, the things that I'm told on the doorstep every day of the week in Selly Oak. And we're setting out ideas for how we're going to be able to approach that. It will have to happen in stages and in phases, but we're planning to appeal directly to the things that concern the British people.
Take that point, if you could, please, Steve. So on the streets of Selly Oak, when you're knocking on those doors, a good constituency backbench MP, what are the top three things that your constituents want their next government to be doing for them? What are they?
Well, they're extremely concerned about housing. There's families who've lived in the area for years, generations, where grandsons and granddaughters can't get a place to live. I think that is probably top at the moment. Concern about NHS waiting times, people waiting for sometimes quite minor procedures, but that are seriously affecting the quality of their life. And then I think people are extremely fearful about energy bills with the coming winter. I had one woman spoke to me just the other week who said, yes, I have been saving, but not for the coming bill. I'm still trying to pay off what happened last year.
Yeah. Steve, big talking point last week at the Tory Party conference was obviously the cancellation of the second leg of HS2. It will now be stopping in Birmingham, close to your constituency. What's your response to that? How will it affect constituents in your area?
Well, I mean, obviously, HS2 was a great opportunity to both create new jobs and to develop new skills. And the purpose was to improve the economic activity of the country by connecting up the major cities. I think to have spent something like 50 billion to run a line from Birmingham to the outskirts of London doesn't strike me as very rational planning or very good use of public money. But I mean, we will have to see what we can do. Part of the opportunity of HS2 in the Birmingham and West Midlands area was that it did free track capacity so that we could have more urban rail routes, making it easier for people to get to work and taking some of the pressure in terms of freight off the roads.
Steve, can I ask you a direct question just to finish? Really appreciate you joining us. 50 billion is probably a Conservative estimate. To get to London from Birmingham 12 minutes quicker, would you, as an MP for Birmingham, right, would you not want that money spent on local infrastructure that will benefit the people of the Midlands, rather than get to London in 12 minutes quicker? I don't understand it.
Well, as I say, I was never in favour of anything that said we were shaving 12 or 20 minutes off a rail journey. I think there is a really good case to be made for connecting the major cities of the UK. But one of the problems with HS2 and one of the failures of the government is it's had confused objectives about HS2 from the beginning, and I'm not surprised it's run into trouble.
Well, Steve McCabe, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Still to come on the programme.